Hi, this is Dave Johnston with Day Trade the Markets, and today is Monday, July the 21st, 2014. This is a chart of the emini S&P. You can see I've got a couple of resting orders there. I've just placed in the market. I've got a buy stop here at 64.50, and I have a buy limit at 62.50. We just came down and hit 62.50, did not get filled, which is why I put the 64.50 in there, because I think there is a possibility for this market to have a good rejection of these lower prices and give us a good rally higher. The lines that you see here at there's a horizontal line here, another horizontal line here. These are lines that I manually have just placed on there. They are not produced by the software. Everything else you see on the chart is by the software. So the 61 level down here was an area of support that we were thinking the market, if it were to get down there, would probably find some support, give us a lift. As you can see, it did pierce through that level here, kind of tested back and forth a little bit. Now we've run higher. And the reason I put this line over here at 64 even is this leg down that we had. You can see we had a series of paint bars, which are indicative of aggressive selling because they're all shaded red, light red, medium red, and then magenta. So this is a series of aggressive selling. The most aggressive is the magenta, the one on the bottom here, and then the red is the level 2 or the medium. The most aggressive buying is this blue bar right here, and as you can see, that came off of the low of the day, which is a good sign of a market, obviously, finding some longer time frame buyers as it reaches new lows, willing to step up and purchase at lower prices and in a fairly aggressive way. It took a little bit of time though for it to turn around and get all the way back up to here. You can see it kind of back and forth, back and forth. I've placed this stop just one tick above this bar here, and the reason, you can see that this bar right here has on top of it slightly a buying bar in the sense that it took out its previous bar's high, but then it decelerated quite strongly and then pulled in, and we do expect that when we have a deceleration bar. You can see deceleration here, in here, and here, and when you see them on top of the bars, it has a tendency for the market to pull in, at least on the short term. So the preference for us right now is to get long around 62. Unfortunately, we didn't get filled when it came down here, so obviously not a lot of volume there. So we're looking to get long on a breakout higher, should it not pull back once more and get us long here at the 62 level. So that's really what we're looking at right now. So we've got the 61 level, the 64 level, trying to get long at 62.50, and also trying to get long at 64.50 on a buy stop. What I am going to do though is I'm going to put in an order right here to sell to at 65.50 should the market break through there, because it could just have a quick little spike, and I want to take out at least a little bit of profit, a little bit more conservative on the on this one with the long from 64.50, because it is obviously at a higher price, and might not give us the maximum room to move on the upside. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just leave that in there and hopefully get spike through that should it get hit. On the other side, maybe we could come down to 62.50 here and get us filled long on that side. So what I think I'll do right now is just now I've sort of laid the groundwork for what we're looking at here in the emini S&P for today, is I'll go ahead and pause the recording here and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, as you can see here, the market has dipped to 62. We're now long also from 62.50. I'm not also, I mean, we haven't been filled on the 64.50, so we are now long from 62.50 with the expectation that our support will come either at the low here of this level 2 buying bar, or down at the 61 level where we had previous support, and obviously where support has held at least through this point today. So we'll just monitor that for now. I am going to put a stop in here though, just below this movement here. Okay, so I'm going to put a stop in at 60. So I'm going to put that, I just put that sell stop in sell stop at 1960. So there's our stop should the market, really move against us for, for whatever reason. So not expecting that, but should it, we've got our stop, I think, far enough away strategically that, we'll still be safe on this trade. So I'll leave it like this, and we'll pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, I've just restarted the recording here. As you can see, it did have that dip. It took out the low here of this level 2 buying bar. You can see by just a tick right here, it decelerated, and now it's turned higher. So we're actually long 8 here. I've got an order in to sell 2 at 65.50. And I think what I'll do, because we're long 8, I'm going to put another order in. Let's see, instead of selling 4, I'm going to sell another 2 at that price. Let's see, average price is 63.50. So I'm going to put this one in right here where we are right now, 65 right there, because that gives us a point and a half on 2. And we've still got that resting order in there at 65.50. So we'll see if we can get filled on this. I think in the meantime, though, because we're long 8, I want to go ahead and make this adjustment here. And I want to bring this stop up. And I think in this case, you can see here that we've got a level 2 selling and then a level 1 buying. So the market should not get below here. So I'm going to go ahead and raise my stop right to here. Now you can see we just got filled on 2 at a point and a half average, and then we've got these other 2 to try and sell at a 2 point. So you can see right here we're now long 6. So I'm going to change obviously this stop down from 8 to 6. So protective stop is now for 6 at 62.25. We're average price, we're long at 63.50. We've got the sell limit in here at 65.50. So yeah, I think we're probably good for now. The 65 area, 65.50, has been kind of bone of contention. And I'm a couple ticks above that. I might be trying to squeeze a little too much out of this right now, but I think I will just drop this down because we do have 6 left. So I'm going to go ahead and try and get those other 2 filled at a point and a half gain at 65. We have moved above the 64 level, so that's good. We wanted to see that happen. The 65.50 or so, which was another area that we were looking at earlier today, you could restrict the market at least temporarily from getting above that. So I made that slight adjustment on that exit there at 65. So I did put our email here. If you have any questions or comments, etc., you can just get a hold of us here, info@daytradethemarkets.com. So I'm just going to leave this now. We're set up. I think we're looking good. So I'll go ahead and put the recording on pause, and we'll pick it up again as the market dictates. Okay, just restarted the recording here on the video. You can see the market did have a dip down here to 1963. Our stop was at 62.25, so obviously kept us in there. It's now come back up to within a tick of our objective at 1965 to sell another 2 contracts, which would bring it up to half of our position, because on this particular trade we ended up with 2 entries of 4 contracts each, and we exited 2 of them, 2 of the contracts already at 65. We're looking to sell the other 2 at 65, which would give us a point and a half gain on half of the entire position. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and hopefully we can get a little bit more lift in here and go ahead and get this filled on this 65 objective and get another run higher. I just want to point out a couple of things here. I'll move it over so you can see it a little bit better. Is that when the market did come up and test into that 64 area, we thought there was potential resistance there. When it did come back, you'll notice that it formed one of these box formations here. We call that a high velocity move, and because in this case the market moved down, a high velocity move by sellers, and these can be reaction to a previous up move, or it can be the start of an intraday down auction. And I'm saying that because it's this particular high velocity move was made by sellers. So as you can see, we had very little follow through, and then it started to trade above its high. So I'll just go in here and mark in, just put in another line here as to the exact high of that high velocity move. So you can see it here. Maybe better if I just perhaps put it as a different color. See what that looks like. Okay, it's kind of a brown. Anyway, it's a different color. But so this was really the high of this high velocity move, and when you've got a good selling pressure like that that gets rejected, in other words, very little follow through, but instead turns around and starts to trade here above the high of this high velocity move, that's a bullish indication. So the little bit of a dip that we had down here, if you recall, I had my initial stop, or I had the stop that we've got right now, just one tick below this bar right here, which was the dip down that got immediately rejected as the market rallied up towards the high of this selling high velocity move. So that's why I think we chose a good spot there for that stop. It did not get down to it. We've spent quite a bit of time here above this brown line, which is the high of the high velocity move, 63.75, and then of course that blue line that we had earlier in the day going into this particular trade, because I lost my arrow. Here we go. Is that particular blue line was put on, of course, because of the high of this wave of selling that we had right here. So I think we're looking still pretty good. Obviously, we would like to see this thing rally. So started back up a few minutes ago there when it looked like it was going to hit. It hasn't done so yet. So I will once again, by the way, here's our email, just in case you got any questions. I'll go ahead and pause the video right now and pick it up as needed. Okay, as you can see, we just hit 65 and got filled on the other two contracts. So we had 6 remaining, and you can see the stop that I've got down here. So obviously I want to adjust that stop down to just 4 now from 6. And so we're actually out of half of our position. Average price is 63.50. And you can see that last little dip that we had here hit 63.50 right on. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the stop. We have made some profits here, but I want to go ahead. I'm going to put the stop 2 ticks below 63.50. I'm going to move it up there to 63 even. And I'm also going to go ahead and put in a sell limit. And in taking a look at what's going on in the market here today and the kind of levels that we have been monitoring, I think I'd mentioned to you earlier that 65, 50 area was kind of a resistance area, which is where the earlier, and I can just actually let me just scroll back here a little bit. You can see that we had one of the other high velocity moves here, a selling high velocity move, and the high of it was right here, and that's at 65.75. So we've just hit 65.50. I think what we want to do here is probably go ahead and at least put in an order up in that area. Now we just got out at 65, so I'm going to put in another order in to sell another 2 at 66, and that's right at the top of this band right here that you can see that our software has identified as a likely resistance area. So I'm sort of squeezing it out a little bit, but we did exit at 65 already, another 2 contracts. So we've got on 4 contracts a point and a half, and now we've got the remaining 4 here at 63.50. So the video is starting to get a little bit long. We've been in this trade for quite some time. What is it, an hour and a half or something like that. So I probably need to go ahead and pause the video again, pause the recording I should say, and then pick it up, and hopefully we can get up there and test today's high, which is up here at 67.75 up in here. So we've got the sell limit is at 66, so that's a 2.5 point gain on another 2, and that'll bring us down to just 2 contracts should we get filled on that. So I think that looks pretty good. I will go ahead and pause the recording right now and pick it up as needed. Okay, I've started the video again just a couple minutes later. You can see we've now, okay, we just hit 66, our objective on that, and hopefully we can get filled here on the other 2. We're down to just the 4 contracts now, as you can see, 4 right there. So hopefully we can get filled on this, and then we will adjust the stop. I think I'll go ahead and adjust that stop anyway to break even. As a matter of fact, we've had a nice little wave of buying in here. You can see we just had a level 1 buying, that's a cyan bar, another level 1 buying in here. I'm just going to go ahead and boost that up here to 64. So we're going to lock in at least a couple of ticks profit on these 4 contracts, because after all it has moved from 63 to 66. That's 63.50 is our entry to 66, so that's 2.5. So if it should pull back a couple of points, we'll get stopped, but we still will make a little bit of profit on that. But I think it's only prudent to adjust your stop as the market is moving in your favor, and being, reasonably tight with it. I mean, that's a relative term, I know, but hopefully we'll get filled on this shortly and we can get further up movement. So I'll once again go ahead and pause the video recording. Okay, started the video back up again. You can see we've popped back up here to 66, so hopefully we can get filled this time. Just let it run here for a minute or so. I have already adjusted the stop, as I said, so got our stop right here at 64. We're long, still a 4 from 63.50, and this was our support down here in the 61 area. And then we also had support or resistance turning into support up here at 64, which is now where our stop is. And here's our email over here. Got any questions? Okay, I will pause it again. Okay, there we go. We finally got filled on that at 66. That took about 10 minutes after hitting it. So I need to reduce the number of contracts here that we have left on this particular trade down to 2, because we're now down to 2, as you can see. So we have sold, we ended up by buying 8 contracts on this particular trade. We exited half of that position at a profit of a 1.5, and so in other words 4 contracts, and another 2 contracts we just exited at 66 even for a 2.5 point gain. So things are looking good. We have our stop in here. We've only got a 2 point profit protection in here. As you can see, the sell stop at 64. With our long entry at 63.50. So we'll just leave that for now, and hopefully we can get a bit of a run up here. I'm looking at the YM, which is a very closely correlated market. It's actually making new highs for the day right now. We're not quite there in the ES. We've got to get up to 67.50. I'll just go ahead and put another line up there. This is our high, current high for the day, 67.50. So that's kind of the next target. 66 we just got out. So I think what I'll do is I'll bring up this stop to here, which is a couple of ticks from below here, where the market has just started this last little leg higher. So locking in a point and a half on these final two contracts here, and I think we'll just kind of monitor the market here and manage this stop from a trailing stop perspective, as opposed to putting in a sell limit. So we'll just let the market continue to rally. It's we still got plenty of time for trading. We've got about 3 hours left, a little less than that, but quite a bit of trading time left, and maybe the market can get above this this highest blue bar up here, which is the okay, there, we just hit it right there, which is the current high for the day. So maybe we can get a lift above that. So I will go ahead and pause the video and restart it as needed. Okay, just want to resume the recording here on this trade. As you can see, we did get up and kind of pause here at the earlier high of the day. Kind of went back and forth, and now we're breaking above it. So I think it's time to make an adjustment on this stop. Tuck it in right underneath in here. Now that it's broken to new highs, bringing that stop all the way up to 67. So that's going to lock in 3.5 instead of 1.5. So I'll go ahead and change that. 3.5, 7. So that's nice, because that locks in 18 points on this trade. Of course, we had 8 contracts entering 4, and then another 4 on a breakout higher. So that's kind of where we're at now. Just want to bring you up to date on that. As far as any next levels that we're looking at, the overnight high in this market in the emini S&P was up at 71.50. So I'll just mark that on in here. So that's the next target level, if you will, 71.50 up here. So we'll see how that goes. If the market can actually get up to that height, who knows? But that would be the next target. So we've got our stop in there at 67. It's had a nice move, so we've locked in 3.5 points on that, on the 2 contracts. So I've got that in the third row here. So we've locked in 18 points on this trade with the 8 contracts so far. And there's our email there. Any questions, just send us an email. So I'll go ahead and pause this recording and get back to it as needed. Okay, I've started up the recording again. As you can see, didn't quite make it up here to our next target at 71.50. It only made it to 69.50. So not getting the lift that we were hoping for, but still, it's looking still a good trade. I've left the stop right here at 67 even. It's obviously it's come down within just a couple of ticks of it. So I think I'll just leave it there. I'm giving it a little bit of room to move. 69.50 the high and 67 even, so 2.5 points off the high. So I'm giving it quite a bit of room here to move. But should we get stopped, that's fine. That's just because the likely support is we have had this. Let me just move this over just a little bit. You can see here that we've had this high velocity move here. So the likely support is in here, but I really, I just don't want to see it get too far off the high. So I'm just going to leave the stop in where it is for now, and see what comes of it. Just came within a tick of it, and had a nice decel bar, as you can see here. This is the green triangle right below this little selling bar right here. So, and I'm referring to this little bar right here as a selling bar because it took out its previous bar's low and did not take out its previous bar's high. So taking out its previous bar's low only, consider that a selling bar, and that's why the deceleration triangle is below the bar, with the expectation that we should get a little bit of bounce here, and we have also come down close to the low here, as we were just talking about with the down towards the low here of this high velocity move. We actually just hit it right on the dot. Our stop's just a tick below it. So, we've given it a little bit of room to move, not a lot. Don't want to have it come too far off of the high. Our stop is 2.5 points off of the high, so I think that's it's given it pretty good room. So at any rate, the trade continues. Been into this trade for quite some time now. In about 2.5 hours, so I don't want to make the video any longer than it needs to be, so I'll go ahead and pause the recording right now and start it back up as needed. Okay, as you can see here, we just got hit. Our stop was at 67, so we just got hit on that. So this actually has stood here in the sense that the final two contracts 3.5 points each. For a total of 7. So here's a rundown on the results of that trade. It took quite a while. We were in that trade for about 2.5+ hours. Here's our email address. If you have any questions in regards to our software or anything else, don't hesitate and get a hold of us. So anyway, that'll be it for today. I'm Dave Johnston with Day Trade the Markets, and have a good day.